Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is October 11th, 2024. And tricky Bitcoin has fooled us once again. Yes, we went up, but first we went down a little further than we thought. We're going to look at that, what likely happened and why. Also, we're going to look at what we can expect for this coming weekend, why this may be a positive weekend, and where we can expect Bitcoin as well as altcoins to go. If that all sounds interesting to you, then watch until the very end. Hope you had a great week. All right, let's get into it. Starting off with Bitcoin on the hourly time frame. All right, actually, let's go on the 4-hourly time frame, and let's look at what happened. Okay, so last we spoke, we were in this consolidation here. We broke down. What did we say? We said we wanted to hold this level because 60K was really the level to hold. Else, we were likely to come down here, okay? The bottom of the channel. What happened? We lost this level nominally, okay? And this is a really important point. Nominally, we lost this level. We went below 60K. We went all the way down to 58.9, so around 59K. And then we sprung up, literally sprung up. Okay, and I use that term very carefully because this is called a Wyckoff spring. A Wyckoff spring is what? A Wyckoff spring is when the price goes below the lowest perceived range and then does a V-shaped recovery, right? In that way, not only does it liquidate the longs, but it also liquidates the shorts, because once we broke 60K, I'm not the only one to say, I'm sure, that 60K was a crucial support to hold. Else, you should probably go short. A lot of people, a lot of algorithms, more likely than not, went short once we lost the 60K level, only to get duped by this recovery. Okay, and this, if you look at the Wyckoff accumulation, is called a Wyckoff spring. It's a classic move that basically makes the most money for the liquidation engine, where both longs and shorts got. Okay, so nominally we lost this level. However, if you look at this as being a corrective move, all one contiguous corrective move, this is within these limits. Okay, this is within these limits. And how would you know? You would take a Fibonacci retracement tool and you would see that the associated, let me remove this one so it doesn't confuse anybody, the associated corrective pattern, if this is an A wave, this B wave could come all the way down to 57.9 and still be within the range of this corrective pattern. This is why corrective price action is impossibly difficult to read, impossibly difficult to predict. We still try, and we're not afraid of being wrong, but that's what I believe happened, that in this Wyckoff accumulation at this 60K level, right, all of this was one contiguous corrective pattern, and this was a counter. So this was counter to this, right? This was an A, this was a B, and there's your C. There's your move up and out. Okay. Now, I expect, so it's Friday afternoon, the US dollar currency index is closed. The traditional markets are closed for the weekend. I still expect it to be a positive weekend. Okay. And here's why. When you effectuate this spring, what do? You grab liquidity from below the lowest level of support. You grab liquidity from liquidity pools, and that enables the price to rocket up. So if the price keeps going up on the weekend, it will go on the steam of these liquidity pools still being grabbed, of shorts continuously being liquidated on this way up. Okay, because people are now, what are they doing? people who went short here, people who went short here, people who went short here are moving their stops higher and higher and higher to try to avoid being stopped out of their positions. That's one thing that's happening. Another thing that's happening is, quite simply, there's still a lot of verve, there's still a lot of momentum from this bounce that will continue the move up and through until the next logical resistance. And so that's why I really think that it's unlikely that this weekend shows us some downside price action. Given what happened, it's more likely than not. Two things are more likely than not. One, that we continue to the next logical resistance, which is quite clearly 66, 67K. This big resistance, as you can see here, if you look at the chart, this is very clearly the next resistance, right? Bitcoin is almost guaranteed to retest this resistance, and we're more likely than not to get some sort of small correction there. Okay, the next thing that's likely is that we go sideways here. But I don't think the latter choice is really likely, given that this isn't really much of a consolidation area. There's not that much going on there. I mean, we could go a little sideways, but I think it's very, very likely that Bitcoin make its way to 67K and we get one of those rare weekends where we go up. However, mind what I say next. Even though we go up on the weekend, do expect to come down as soon as Sunday evening or Monday. So it's essentially like nothing happened. This is what you tend to see. Whatever happens on the weekend gets erased. Either we stay put, we go sideways on the weekend, or we go down, whereby whatever happened on the weekend, if we had positive price action, we erase it. Okay, so this is what I expect. And more specifically, I'm seeing this price action go something like this. Okay, so this, like I said, in my estimation, is very likely a corrective move, an A wave, call it. Okay, and this is the counter, B wave. Very, very, very likely, right? They look the part. That would make this the C wave or impulse. Okay, so essentially you have an A, B, C. That impulse continues to go until, so one of the definitions of an impulse is it continues its move until the next logical resistance. It doesn't stop. The only time it takes a break is in that fourth wave to go sideways or to reaccumulate or consolidate. Otherwise, once it starts, it continues. This is why I do expect the crypto market to continue to go, even though traditional markets are closed. And I will reiterate that even though I do expect for us to continue to go up, once Monday, more likely than not, Monday or Sunday evening hits, do expect us to start our descent back down more or less to where we started, because at the end of the day, I'm seeing this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move, and I need an associated 3 wave move. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing, and this is what I believe will happen throughout next week. This right here. Okay, I think next week is just us hitting our heads against this resistance, going sideways. In this time, I think alts are going to do something special, and I'm going to talk about alts in just a moment here. But I think that because, look at this, we will have gone up for about 5 days, about 3 days, 4 days, okay? I do expect for us to go sideways and down for about the same amount of time. And look, that takes us to next Friday, the 18th. That is not just Friday, the end of trading regular markets, but also the full moon, which is when we expect typically, statistically, local market bottoms. So I really like the read of Bitcoin continuing to move up to about 67, right? Going sideways, finding resistance, right? Because it's both the midline of, sorry, 67K is both the midline of this larger channel that Bitcoin's been in for a couple years, and it's the upper resistance of this descending broadening wedge that we've been in, right, for 6+ months. So I do think that we do have some sort of consolidation like that. We gather on the weekend, next weekend, and then we pop up targeting the next logical target, which is probably 80K. I think 80K is back on the table. We can talk about that at a later time, but this is what I just talked about. Going from where we're at now to 67K is where I see Bitcoin going in the next 2 days, and then back down to 62, 63 in the next 4 days. Okay, so not much happening with Bitcoin. Like, yes, a 5% move up, 5-6% move down, not much going on there. Meanwhile, look at this Bitcoin dominance chart, right? We've been looking at it for years, but it's finally starting to break down. It's showing weakness as it's really plateauing at this level, performing this Wyckoff distribution. And these are the final moves that lead to this kind of price action. This is kind of what we're looking for. And let me show you an example. I'm going to show you one or two altcoins as to why I believe that although Bitcoin may go up 5% this weekend and then back down 5 or 6% next week, don't expect altcoins to do the same. Expect fireworks from altcoins. Let me show you something. Tron. This is a pretty popular altcoin. This is quite literally on the verge of price discovery. What is price discovery? Price discovery is when there's no prior resistance to mark or to demarcate where price is going to stop. So look at what Tron's been doing for the past few years. It's been consolidating up and to the right. That's some savage bullishness. And now it's at a level where it's essentially free of previous resistances. So again, this is what we call price discovery. Okay, does it hit that next target? 55, 56 cents? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Price discovery is tricky because there is no prior resistance to say the price is likely to stop at that. It'll make all-time highs, Tron will, when it breaks this. Okay, and where it stops, nobody knows. You can make the assumption that this is kind of a cup and handle, and this cup and handle breaks up, right, the height of the cup and handle. That's kind of what I did here to get this target, but who really knows? So this is exciting, and given that it's at the neckline of this pattern, if Bitcoin even shows or thinks about any positive price action, this breaks out. Do you see what I mean? So things for altcoins are interesting, and it's not just Tron. You also have things like stacks getting close to price discovery. Look at this. I mean, not all altcoins are getting close to price discovery. Stacks still has one target up here at $3.59, right? And then boom, 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 boom. where Tron is, price discovery. Do you see what I mean? So really interesting things in the altcoin space. Stacks, even though it's not going to price discovery yet, the next logical target's 100% away, right? Bitcoin's looking to make a 5% move. Some of these altcoins may make a triple digit move. So this is why really altcoins are the place to be and what you should be looking out for on this weekend. And we've seen it before historically, massive, insane moves in the altcoin space on weekends, right? And this is kind of the situation. These are the circumstances that bring those kinds of price actions about. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. We'll see if we get a crazy weekend. Let's hope. It'd be nice. But yeah, I don't think Bitcoin is doing too much other than really playing with that 67K resistance. All right, that's all from me. Hope this was helpful, useful. Like, share, and subscribe if you got value. Consider buying me a coffee at the pinned comment below, and I'll see you next time.